How you doing? I'm Kevin O'Hara for alcoholmastery.com and habitsunplugged.com. Today I wanted to talk about a comment I got on YouTube from a person who'd stopped drinking alcohol for 3 months, and they found that after 3 months their levels of anxiety and depression hadn't changed, or their perceived levels of anxiety and depression hadn't changed. Obviously they were expecting something different and they wanted to know why that was. And for me there's a really basic, simple answer, and that's stopping drinking alcohol, even though it is the foundation, it lays the foundation for everything that's going to come. It's not a magic pill in and of itself. It's not going to cure everything, It will stop a lot of things, it will stop the flow of alcohol. Stopping the flow of alcohol means that you're moving forwards in your life again, or you have that opportunity to start moving forwards in your life. And I think with alcohol, you're very subtly moving backwards. I think it's one of the things about drinking alcohol is that people don't realize how much they're moving backwards, because it happens in a very slow way. It's imperceptible almost. We all know about the hangovers and the things that happen, and that make you make the decision to stop drinking alcohol, the painful moments. But there is an imperceptible slide backwards for any drug user. So it's when you stop using the alcohol or any drug that you have that opportunity to move forwards and into your potential. But it remains only your potential if you don't move forwards and if you don't do something to move forwards. And that's the rub, is that we're conditioned to believe that stopping drinking alcohol that's the process for the rest of your life, and all you have to do is not drink alcohol and things are going to improve for you. But there's a huge problem with that kind of thinking, and it's that stopping drinking alcohol is a process, in that it has a beginning, a middle and an end. But it's only one process, and once that process has come to a conclusion, or is heading towards a conclusion, then you have to move on to the next process, which is either sorting out a different problem in your life, or it's moving towards something that you want to get. You can have all the goals in the world that you want, but if you don't change the basic things that are inside yourself, your thinking, your thoughts, and your actions, those basic things, then you're not going to move forwards. This is why we spend so much time in Habits Unplugged talking about that transition period, that there is a beginning to stopping drinking alcohol, and then there's a middle of where you're dealing with all the shit that's happening because you're stopping it in the moment, the cravings and you can't sleep and all that kind of stuff, right? But that's only the beginning. Then you move on to something else, and that's transitioning to a different way of thinking, we call it the drinker's mind. When you're an alcohol user, and the drinker's mind is basically where your thoughts are evolved or have become associated around alcohol. So you're just an alcohol drinker. This is what you do in life, And I remember well that thinking. I couldn't do anything that involved fun without thinking about alcohol. I couldn't do anything that involved if I felt negative emotions, it was alcohol. So there was so much of my life revolved around alcohol. That's the drinker's mind. So you have to separate yourself from that first. 80%, 90% of the work is done in your head. It's changing mindsets, it's changing the way you think, changing the way you talk to yourself inside, and the way those thoughts then translate out into actions in the real world. And it's only when you do that then that you can start to really make progress in life. So I want to keep this video short today and just say that, as I said, this is a process. It's a process that is a beginning to moving towards the best possible version of yourself, but it's a process that you have to move onwards with. You have to move on to the next process, and then the next process. There's too many people that are stuck in that one process of trying to quit drinking alcohol, and they're in that process for the rest of your life. You hear people all the time talking about going to meetings for 20 years, 30 years. I had one woman sending me a comment on YouTube, on Facebook, and she'd said that she'd been going to meetings for 39 years. that's being stuck in a process when that process shouldn't take more than a few months at most. Our transition program runs between 3 and 6 months. I mean, after 3 months, we're really ramping down the alcohol stuff, and we're not talking about, we're trying to focus people forwards as much as possible, and it's worked for me. I mean, I'm just, I couldn't tell you any situation where I would drink alcohol anymore. There's just not, it doesn't enter my mind in anything. It's just not a factor in my life anymore. So listen, if you want help stopping drinking alcohol, there is a link down below this video for a book, 10 Steps to Stop Drinking Alcohol, and you can click on that link, go to the website, leave your first name and email address, and I'll send you out a copy. You have to open it up, you have to read it, and you have to apply some of the principles. It's very basic stuff, but it'll get you started, and that's the whole process. I mean, I think, getting movement sometimes is the motivation that you need. Then you can start motivating yourself and changing things as you're moving forwards. If you want to try Habits Unplugged, there's also a link down below this video, or you'll get it in one of your emails after you get the book. You can take a 7-day trial, and there's no obligation to stay. There's no contracts, nothing. If you like what you see, you can stay and carry on. Guarantee you that it's going to be an investment that will bring you a lot of return. It's $1, that's all it is for the trial. So take care of yourself, and I will speak to you again soon. All right, onwards and upwards. Bye now.